If you're emotional about anything I say or do.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose. You should kill yourself now.
Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you niggas, but we have another versus battle between Gojo Satoru and Kurumi Tokisaki. But now, let's get to the scalings. Gojo, AP. So Sukuna in the Shibuya arc was casually able to destroy multiple city blocks. And you have to remember that Sukuna only had 15 fingers at that time. And the thing is, Gojo said if Sukuna had 20 fingers, he would still win. In which would mean he would scale way above 15 finger Sukuna. And which would make him multi-city block plus. Speed. Now, if you watch my Gojo vs Saitama vid, technically I scaled Maki catching that bullet to be supersonic plus speed, since it was directly right in her face. But the thing is, Toji scales way above that shit, because in the Shibuya arc, Maki, Nanami, and that Zen nigga was all clearly getting fucked up by digging. Like, Nanami lost an eye, the Zen nigga lost an arm, and Maki, well, Maki was just losing his sight of interest, because clearly in that fight, she was clearly not giving a fuck about, because she was the definition of a fucking nuisance. Anyways, Nanami uses his domain expansion, right, to get in Dagon's domain expansion, then proceeds to summon Toji out that bitch. And I'm not gonna lie to you, but when Toji came out that bitch,
Light the fuses, bitches!
he made his presence be known, because literally everybody stopped what they were doing, like time has stopped, because they felt Toji's true deviant energy. And the look on Toji's face said it all. He wanted to bathe in Dagon's blood. Then he proceeds to snatch Maki's playful cloud along with her masculinity, meaning she got bitched. Then proceeds to violate Dagon to the point where I thought it was two otters having sexual intercourse. So since Toji was technically blitzing Dagon, and Dagon should be somewhat relative to Maki in speed, if not higher, Toji would scale to hypersonic plus, since Toji onslaughted a bitch made Cthulhu. Like, just imagine getting pierced to death, my nigga. Like, come on. Toji fucked that nigga to his last breath. Now, I know that Toji is strong for his own right and shit, but if we're being completely honest and not biased, Jogo would scale highly above this nigga. And before y'all be on that biased bullshit, let me explain. Because during the fight with Megumi and Toji, Megumi literally compared Toji to a three-fingered Sukuna. And when Jogo asked Geto how strong he was in terms of fingers, Geto said 8 or 9. And just in case some of y'all niggas don't know basic math, that's technically like 3 times the difference, and which would make Jogo high hypersonic. And Gojo was able to fight Jogo along with 2 other niggas that scaled to him in speed, and which means he would scale to high hypersonic plus 2 massively hypersonic hacks and abilities. Yeah, just pause the shit and read it. Now for Kurumi Tokisaki. Yeah, I clearly had to watch the anime because clearly I didn't know who the fuck the character was. Now, I'm not even gonna front, but the first 5 minutes almost made me drop the fucking series, cause this pimpy long stalking ass bitch kept on trying to flash at me. Like, the shit had me wondering, was I watching a Harlem anime or just straight up fucking CP? Like, the shit is fucking with my morality. Like, every time this bitch would do some weird shit, I would have to personally turn my head like I'm the security guard of a finance of fucking Freddy's. And I was watching that shit in sub, so you know I'm missing the fucking plot. Like, every time I turn my head, it's a new scene. Like, bro, what the fuck? But the rest of the episode was pretty fucking watchable. Like, Toka was definitely the highlight of that episode because, let's be real, she carried that shit. And what really makes her stand out from most Zunare's and shit is that she's not toxic and bipolar with this shit. Like, if you understand her character, she's a literal battle spirit. So of course she's gonna be a little bit hostile towards MC because, let's be real, she does not know him. Then when she gets to know you and shit, eventually she will start fucking with you and will show you her real feminine personality. And remember, this shit took less than 4 fucking days, which means it's a lot more natural and not like forced, unlike most of these surface level bipolar ass bitches. Like, just imagine you're putting in effort and still no fucking progress. Like, be honest, who the fuck does that type of shit? But yeah, let me save Toka for like another video or some shit so I could like dive deep into her character and shit. But for Kurumi Tokasaki, a quiet bitch that forgot to take her meds, then literally becomes a school shooter And the thing about most school shooters in general, they do that shit out of fucking revenge. But for this sadistic bitch, yeah, she literally does this shit for no fucking reason. Like, somebody please get the Ghostbusters on this clockwork looking ass bitch. Like, if she don't get her plus Claire equals this bitch seductively edgy ass on somewhere.
She's a monster.
Oh no, my finger must have slipped.
What the fuck?
If she don't get her blood makes me viciously horny Hanji plus Toko equals blood bank's owner, like shit having ass on somewhere. Like, you could definitely tell that this Toga like bitch was definitely a Twilight's fan growing up.
Like Edward, no.
It's like I was only into the vicious bloody vampire sex.
Like on some becoming human type shit. But to be honest, I should just chill out and just get to the skeletons and shit, you know?
Psych a lot.
Get over here, bitch!
Now, you meant to tell you something I just realized, my niggas? Number one, she's crazy as shit. And number two, she's freaky as fuck. And she know what she's doing, in which would technically mean she must had experienced, and which indeed means she has been ran through by the graveyard and Casper's uncles. Because you know how some girls will act all innocent and shit? Because they know that's a man's fantasy, nigga. Innocence. But wake up to reality, my nigga. There is no such thing as innocent. Most of the bitches you talk to have been fucked. Just like this bitch. She's been fucked repeatedly. And her name is Nightmare. Fucking Nightmare, because she's a general man's nightmare. And I ain't talking about you Donovan looking ass motherfuckers that be on that weird ass shit. We're talking about those peg me ass motherfuckers. But anyway, like, just imagine you have your first girlfriend and she was pure as fuck the first week. And for the niggas that know, man, y'all already know how this shit finna go. But like the third week or some shit, you figured out that she's been piercing motherfuckers with bullets. Now, I ain't gonna lie, okay, that's probably fucking hot, is what you're thinking. But you wanna know what's not fucking hot? You finding out that she was using her mouth as a vacuum cleaner to suck off the whole fucking cemetery and shit. But trust me, it gets worse. You suddenly remember that you kissed that on the first week.
With your dumb ass.
And which would mean you technically kissed over 10,000 plus ghost dicks. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, at that point, you might as well just commit suicide. And just reincarnate as an anime isekai protagonist at that point. Like, tell me if that's not a fucking nightmare. Because I'm waking my ass up post pre-cum session. And the crazy thing about this shit is that I know what the Arthur was doing when he did this shit. Like, come on now. Day Live, a nightmare to date. Like, Jesus, fuck, my brain is pulsating due to the motherfucking knowledge that I'm receiving right now. Like, this shit got me using 100% of my brain's capabilities, so you can just call me Lucy in this bitch. But anyways, so it turns out that Kurumi Tokisaki only kills rapists and animal abusers, in which would mean she's technically a fucking anti-hero, like on some Lucy shit where they both kill out of revenge and etc. Now, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I kinda see why y'all fuck with her so bad, because that shit is fucking amazing. Like, she hit us with that I ain't God, but I shall do judgment. So yeah, I had my fun, so let's just get on to the scalings. Kurumi Tokasaki, AP, so the Yami twins, aka the Yami sisters, stated that they will take this island and their friends and blow them straight off this fucking planet. And since it's literally verbatim stated, that means they will technically scale to that. And since Kurumi Tokasaki scales above that, she will be technically island level as well. But for her speed, she would be definitely like relativistic plus, since she was able to pull Shiro away from a whole bunch of streaks of light. And for her hacks and abilities, yeah, she definitely has like a fuck ton of those, so you might as well just pause and read this shit for me. Now for the fight. Now, this is probably how it's gonna go. If these two were to fight, Gojo won't even be able to touch this bitch due to the immense speed gap. And when Kurumi starts firing her bullets and shit, she suddenly realizes that her bullets are slowing down to the point where they can't even touch Gojo. So she activates her Raziel form to use the book. Because of the speed gap, she will have the time to do it. And she starts to figure out what the affinity does. So she shoots her Neo bullet at Gojo, instantly canceling the affinity. So Gojo tries to use his Domain expansion, but he gets shot by a time bullet by Kurumi. Then she proceeds to charge up a time quake, then hits Gojo with it, instantly killing him in the process. So who wins this fight? Kurumi Tokisaki. Diff? Neg.
I just
Let's get to it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
If I ain't off them drugs, I don't feel like myself. All I need is your love, don't want nobody else. You say I make you feel something you never